family. Welcome to In the Front Row. Today, I'm joined by my friends Taco from Something to Talk About, John from Movie Lovers Unite, and Marley from Marley Loves Film. How are we going, friends?
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, happy Halloween. I don't know when this is coming out.
Pre-Halloween, but
yeah.
When is this coming out?
Actually, it will
day
be.
before,
Yeah.
2 days before? It's got to be close.
By the time I edit it, it probably will be Halloween. So
By the time you edit it,
cool.
yeah.
Alrighty, we are talking about episode 7 of Gen V, which is called Sick, which is very appropriate because it's exactly how we open this episode. We are tossed into the cell with some Supes who are sick, and they're trying to make the other Supes sick, you know, with this contagious soup there.
Start off with some genociding.
We do. I was trying to put it in a nicer form, but we start with that.
I'm trying to clean up genocide. Let genocide be genocide.
Let it be what it is.
Yeah.
Can't clean it up. But there is somebody that is trying to clean it up, and that is Dr. Cardosa. So he is threatening Dean Shetty, saying, you know, she wants to make this airborne and wants to get it happening and deadlier. And yeah, he sort of says, what would Vought think about this, and threatens to take it to them. So what did you guys think of that quick little opening there and her intentions?
I loved it. I loved seeing how bleak and sad and awful and not fun was that start. Like a lot of times, you know, the boys takes it that one step further, but in the back of your mind, you either have like the 16-year-old who finds something vulgar funny or something like that. Like there's always something there's that little hint of immaturity where you're like, oh, it's sad that she killed her parents, but it was with period blood, so that's kind of goofy, you know. But this was just people being murdered by the plague and screaming and asking for help. Like this had none of that boys flavor, and I kind of liked it for that because it was just like, oh my god, like it was a dark opening. And then he's like, so the genocide's going smoothly, and she's like, ramp it up. Yeah, like, no, get it going. He's like, no, this is going to kill everybody really quickly. She's like, no, faster, though. I want everybody immediately. And yeah, it's pretty awful.
Right.
I thought it was pretty great because we got more insight into Dean Shetty's character, too, on like her actual motives for the entire season.
A little later on, yeah.
We'll get into like why those motives are
revealed.
Why those motives are a thing. But I think that this adds to that. Adds a lot to her character, like what kind of person that she is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to agree with Taco on this though too. I like how we just have like a little bit of step back from the normal humor and stuff and give us something a little bit more serious, and to be where it's like very dark now, because at first it got a little bit lighter in tone, and then after that you see the little bit of it being darkened out through the whole entire season. And I definitely like how it's like, look, I want this virus to be killing people instantly. I don't want anybody to start off slow with this. I want it to be quick and be done with it. And of course, you know, I like the whole entire setup for it because of what we get later on with the whole reason behind it, like Marley was saying. But yeah, I definitely have to say I love the switch in tone with it because it needed to be a little bit more serious with it, with being into the genocide a little bit. So that's what I liked about it.
And I like the whole aspect of the doctor being kind of like worried about like what Dean Shetty is actually going to be doing. It kind of brings up a little J. Robert Oppenheimer kind of thing, like what have I created and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
kind of humanizes him in a sense.
Yeah, very very much humanizes
very
him
much
to an extent, so.
Yeah, I'm not going to give
Marley was in the green room. Like,
I'm not going to give the bloke
any
sympathy, but
Marley was in the green room. Yes.
Like if
How
you go into
happy life.
okay,
really,
let's put it this way. Oppenheimer didn't accidentally create this, like, didn't accidentally create the atomic bomb while he was working on the cure for cancer. He was in the weapons division. He knew what he was doing. Like, as much as he didn't realize to the extent that he was going to do, he didn't accidentally stumble upon it making the new strawberry lollipop, right? And this dude isn't working for Pfizer. Like, he's working for Vought. Like, he knows what they do. He knows what it's about. And he spent his last, like, how many years, like, ripping apart 20-year-old or 19-year-old superheroes. I don't think he's sympathetic in any way.
Okay.
I think he was like, no, I just wanted a small genocide. I just wanted like to help.
I just wanted the number
control
one
mutant
combo with the
population.
small drink. I
But
didn't
if
want
you
the
get rid
extra.
of all of them, I'm not going to be able to torture them anymore. I don't really feel for the guy. I know that's not what he said. I put those words in his mouth, but.
Right. I
And
don't want this.
created a
right.
battle that we didn't really need to get into. So sorry, Marley, for bringing up your opinions there pre-recording.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Sorry, Marley, for letting you talk. We should
Yes.
just skip over you next time.
Yeah, I won't bring up your opinions next time. It's all good.
We'll pull the string when we want you to. All right.
Jump back in. Let's go with Kate. So Kate rings Dean Shetty and says, like, we've got to meet up in order to sort of her to tell the truth to the main core group that we have. I loved this scene here where they were sitting at the diner and it was really cute. You got some on the bar there, or like on the shelf there was some cute The Boys toys, which was cool, like some Funkos and stuff like that, which I love. I love the little what do you call it, like throwbacks or like
Easter eggs,
tie-ins there. Yeah, I love them. I love
nods.
them so much. Yes. Anyway, so they're sitting there. And Kate is clearly reading all their minds. Like, I knew that she could hear voices, but I didn't know that she could specifically hear read people's thoughts or hear people's minds. So I thought that was a really cool scene to see that. And then Jordan getting the shits and saying, stop reading our minds, and then storming out. I really loved that there. And my favorite line of probably the whole thing is where she turns around and asks Andre, do you trust me? And he says, you already fucking know, because she can obviously read.
Yeah, what's the point of me telling you anything?
Yeah, just reassuring her for niceness. No thanks.
I'm really buying into Kate. Like, I like this character. I'm really starting to feel for her a lot. She did this horrible thing, and then a absolutely horrible person kind of took her under her wing, manipulated her, got her to do these things thinking that she was doing the right thing. And then when she realized far too late that she was betraying all of her friends, there's nothing she can do. And it also, her trying to not take the medicine or not do whatever is now making her powers more, not only just intrusive and ruining the trust between her friends, but literally giving her constant horrible crap. Like, I don't want to read everybody's thoughts. I'm pretty sure everybody in this room right now is thinking, Taco, shut up, let me talk. And I'm glad I can't hear that. Like, wouldn't
that's
that just
definitely
suck?
not where my mind is.
It's
Just
so
saying.
just imagine at work if you're trying to work and you hear like, gee, did
I would
you
get in
like
a lot of
shower
trouble.
How would be like, what do you mean I smell great? Like I don't want to hear people's thoughts
No,
about
at work it would be like, Taco has a nice ass. I mean,
it got smaller. The older I got, the more it sunk in. But thanks, Marley. You're not so bad yourself. You're not really my type, but I mean, I'm drinking a beer, so give me a minute. But anyways, no, I really feel for her, but she's becoming a lot more sympathetic. But she's kind of been used by an absolutely horrible person, and now she can't get her friends to trust her, and trying to do something, it's making it worse. Like, her powers are literally making them trust her less and less. And that's what's going to then cause her later on to do something just, you trust me now? All right, you want proof? All right, I'll go do something super drastic, which we'll get to.
I definitely see that, especially with the telekinesis of her reading her friends' minds and stuff like that. And then
That's
not
telepathy.
Knowing...
Telekinesis is moving stuff with your
well,
mind.
telepathy,
Be a nerd, John.
Yeah.
Please.
But still, I actually do feel for her though, because of the fact that she's trying to earn their trust, but it's kind of hard to earn her trust when she can read people's minds, she manipulate them, like Taco said, and it's hard to trust somebody that's done all this stuff and then can read your mind too. It's like, well, what's the point of me being your friend if you can read our minds and stuff like that? And I have a little bit of Jean Grey kind of feel, like Dark Phoenix vibes with it, because of the fact that her powers are now getting stronger because of the fact that she's off the meds, and now she's going to probably be out of control, probably to the point where I think she might wind up killing her. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, and look at it from their point of view. She can control them whenever she wants, and you don't have a thought that she doesn't read. I wouldn't want to be around that person either.
No.
Yeah, it's very intrusive, as you said. Yeah. And then I thought the really cool thing too is to get a little bit of a deep dive into the Jordan, the bi-gender thing, where he feels like, or they feel like they need to be a man in order to speak. Like, they're not really heard.
To get her, when you need to get your point across and be serious. Man.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
a really cool take on that character. And then we have Marie and Jordan, having this talk about what should we do? We can't trust Kate, this battle. That was a really cool scene too, because just the way it looked was freaking beautiful. You've got the A-Train posters on the back, and then you've got Victoria Newman. So again, tying in with the boys. And then you've got the
I don't
Soup
catch
lads.
any of these.
Oh man, you gotta open your fucking eyes. I gotta stop being so
My daughter was watching TV and I was watching it on my phone today. That's why I had to watch it. So maybe it was because
we all know Jamie Lee is looking in the background for Homelander. That's why
I'm
she's
just
looking
over
so.
the top. I think I am just I've got some impulses in my head that are weird.
This episode was
Where's Anthony Starr? Where's Anthony Starr?
This episode was awful, but there was a Homelander in the background if you squint your eyes, so 10 out of 10.
They mentioned Homelander, so 10. But yeah, that scene was really
murdering
cool.
everybody, but
They did, yes.
Spoilers.
That scene was cool because it sets up for what they're going to do next, which is heading to Dean Shetty's office, where they find ding, 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 information on Homelander. Homelander killed Dean Shetty's husband and her daughter in that flight that we saw.
Great reveal.
Season 1. Oh,
I love this. I love this reveal too because it adds stakes. It adds stakes from that was in episode season 2, right, of The Boys?
Season
or
1.
Season one.
Yeah.
I like that because I don't think The Boys even called back to that. They're saying Homelander's obviously has like a social media problem with him killing like everyone, but this lead has a very personal aspect to it. Like Dean Shetty has a reason for killing like all the Supes because they took away the two people that she loved. Like,
exactly.
I don't know if I would genocide a bunch of teenagers, but I would definitely try to murder Homelander or do everything I could to take down the 7 if I had a supervillain like backstory.
Well, it's very much like a syndrome from The Incredibles, where he basically doesn't like Supes because he was injured by them and stuff like that. So I kind of like that tie-in as well. So yeah, this is a great reveal.
It's the adult version of that, a little
Yes,
more messed up.
That's what I like about it though too, is because the consequences from season 1 and then transferring into genv about people and victims that have been lost, and I like how they don't cover the survivors or anything like that of the families, people that they lost. And I'm happy that they actually covered this in this episode, that there is somebody that's trying to still recover from everything that Homelander did in the very first season, where she lost people that she loved, and now they're not there anymore because of Homelander. So I like that little callback, and it's not forced or anything. It's perfect. And this goes with consequences and things within the show itself. And I thought that the execution of the fact that this woman has beef with superheroes is because of that. I like it.
Something that makes this even more tragic is she's, all these teenagers are suffering and dying. Like, she's literally killing people, right? And it's not because the superhero community as a whole did something, right? Literally the worst soup that we know of, superheroes don't want to speak for him. Like, the majority of the members of the 7, almost all the main characters throughout all the shows that we watch, all the seasons, don't like Homelander. So he's the worst of them. So it almost is, not only did he murder a bunch of people, ruin a bunch of different people's lives, but also is now causing more or less innocent Supes to get killed because of that selfish act. So there's that whole other layer where it's not like he's one of them, he's the worst of them,
Right.
And then
He is the
his
worst.
horrible
So,
his horrible actions getting them killed too. But for the most part, we'll all agree, not every blank of any type of people are evil, right? Like, there's no such thing as everybody of this is bad. And it just sucks when you have those rogue people like Homelander, like whatever, who do something that it doesn't only kill innocent people, but it breaks the trust of his entire group that he's representing. And that's so messed up. Like,
it really is. And
Homelander's a real bad guy. Jeez, he's a real jerk.
No, and this is where I stand on the
Jamie.
opposite side. I cut the line here, friends. I cut the line. He was raised in a lab. He didn't know any better. And
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
I know he knows what he's doing, and I know that he's done bad things. But I'm saying these kids as well. These kids weren't bad kids. If they were trained, if they were nurtured, rather than put in an asylum and being studied, then they could have been different, just like Homelander could.
You can
Now I don't feel as bad as being sympathetic for the Doctor as Jamie Lee's defending Homelander.
You can use it.
No, let's go back to that fucking plane crash. That was a hijacked plane. So those people were going to die regardless. Let's be honest here. Homelander went in, he killed 3 of them, and there was another guy and he lasered the thing, which is when the plane crashed. And he didn't want any witnesses, so I know what he did was wrong. But at the end of the day...
Did he attempt to save the plane? Did he try to fly away with it? So did he do anything? No, he ran away.
He didn't want witnesses, okay? And
Jamie,
again, that was from the orders from Vought. He's doing these things on behalf of someone else.
I agree with you to a point. I agree. Let me throw out my olive branch here. You can give people excuses. Hey, that sucks that they became a serial killer, but look how they're erased. You can give people excuses until they cross that line. That I was raised horribly, I should get sympathy, but the second I do something awful, you drop that sympathy. I still cross that line. If I was looking for help, if I go, hey, the way I was raised, I'm afraid that I'm going to raise my daughter the wrong way, so I'm going to therapy. Please give me sympathy. But the second I abuse my daughter, drop that. It's done. I no longer get that sympathy because I crossed that line. He got raised in a lab. He got raised literally to be a weapon. All that stuff you said is 100% true. The cards were stacked against him. And then he became a homicidal, genocidal maniac, and it dropped that sympathy. You shouldn't ever sympathize for somebody to that point. It's his fault. He pulled the trigger at the end multiple times. It sucks that the gun got into his hand, absolutely, but he still went, well, Maeve, let's go. And she's like, can we try to save him? He's like, oh, no, let's go. He still did that. And also, that's only this one situation that we're talking about that's causing why Shetty is doing what she's doing. That's one of like a million awful things that he's done. He's done like that's like
I know.
That's probably the easiest to justify.
The end of season 3? The end of season 3 straight up just murders the entire like crowd. A crowd of people that support him.
Well, that's also another thing that they brought up.
They support him.
They're on.
I mean, he killed his mom and all he wanted was breast milk.
Sorry, John, yeah?
But it also causes a split between the superheroes, though, too. Between the Gen V students and everything, too, where one side is for them, the other side isn't. This hero does not represent who they are. Basically, it's just their adopted brother, Homelander, who did all this horrible stuff, and they don't want nothing to do with him. And then you have that side, and then you have everybody's just, it's just a giant split. There's a giant mess. And then they also mentioned stuff that happened within season 3 as well, where they talked about one of the students winded up getting killed because of Homelander and getting killed. So once again, it's about the consequences and repercussions of what Homelander had done.
Homelander is a bad guy. We got it. Let's move on.
He's a bit of a jerk.
So we go to Dean Shetty, who goes to see Grace Mallory. And I thought, again, that's a great tie-in that we have somebody that we already know from The Boys. And she already knows the dirt on Dean Shetty. Let's be honest, she knows everything on everybody. We get her little cameo there, which was great. And she wants Grace on board, to try and be on her side. But yeah, I thought that was a really nice tie-in there when she's talking about Butcher. And she said, I know somebody else who was like you and they got lost in this as well. This trying to find vengeance and look at Butcher now, like it's quite sad to see where he's got to in The Boys, in my opinion anyway. Like I really didn't want him to take Compound V. So yeah, I thought that tie in there to say, you're going to be exactly like Butcher because this is how he started as well in the path that he took. What did you think about their little interaction there? And do you think that it was Butcher that she was calling at the end saying, did you get all that?
I was just going to ask, is that who she called? Like, that's what I was going to ask.
So.
I think so, absolutely. Or an equivalent, Huey or somebody, like one of those groups. One of the boys, if you will. Roll credits. I think that was great. I almost forgot who that character was because it's been a bit since I rewatched The Boys, and I was like, she looks kind of familiar. Oh, yeah, I know who she is. I thought that was fantastic. That little
I thought it was fantastic as well. I think it she knows that Dean Shetty is like basically operating on emotion like this entire time. Like she she's obviously like in a really hard time, like after like her husband and her daughter were taken from her, and she knows that it's like it's like she even said like I can either have you committed or you could just stop what you're doing right now, and it's like I felt like that line like right there just kind of like said everything like about like Dean Shetty's character, about where her headspace is at this moment in time, and it's just it's soul crushing, but she's also doing very like terrible things.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And then we get to Emma's room, and Emma is sort of hoarding Sam, saying, you know, stay in here. There's stranger danger. Don't open the door. What is he?
That was
gonna
so
do?
adorable. He is such a child.
Wasn't he gorgeous?
He
When he
said-
was playing with the little
he says-
undies.
Such a naive little kid.
Okay,
This
Oh,
smells like
okay, can we talk
girlfriend.
about like those the little panties for a little
Yes.
bit, just because
Whenever you want, your
I
weirdo.
always thought there was like when we have characters that can go small and big, like their clothes would be like it'd be like stretch fit. Where
Marvel will always say if your power makes you teleport, go invisible, or get small, here is your special Fantastic Four suit that does it with you in case you never get naked. It's the so you never get naked suit.
So
in
I just want to
comics.
know where she bought like the miniature panties. Like
For dolls, it has to be for Barbies.
Yeah,
I'm
for
not
Barbies.
sucking up to Jamie Lee. I'm just saying it has to be for Barbies. Do they make Barbie
They
panties?
don't make they don't. But you tried. It was very
How would
sweet
you
of you
know?
to try. I'm pretty sure that she was sewing her own clothes in the very first episode. I'm pretty sure. For the
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
channel.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was very sweet. I'm
She makes
pretty
them
sure
cute.
in episode 1.
I love the line that Sam has where he's like, oh, he's wearing like the onesie or whatever, the Snuggie, and he says, oh, I want to keep wearing it. It smells like you, and I'm like,
This
Like
smells
this
like
guy.
girlfriend.
This guy.
I murder puppets. I'm Sam.
Well,
But I like how they mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they do bring up what we talked about last week about how Taco mentioned about her.
Is she gonna be apprehensive when she finds out who absolutely brutal he is? And she was like 1% apprehensive. I think at the end we were both right, where she ultimately is like, but I think there was a second where she's like, Jesus, okay.
I did rip a guy in half yesterday. Yeah,
but he was a puppet. He wasn't. He
Yeah, he was a
one for him.
puppet.
He wasn't a puppet for himself. He was still a human when he got ripped in half.
And you know what was really sweet
A
too?
human.
When he was in the undies and he's like playing this person, he's like, "Oh, you're so badass," and he said, "You just think that because I'm strong and
Damaged.
And I was like, damaged.
Strong
Maybe
damage.
that was the word. Oh,
I think
it's a
so.
really cute line.
I love that scene so much because it reminded me of like that bit from Spaceballs when Darth Helmet is playing with his
Oh
dolls.
yeah.
No.
Someone knocks on the door and he's just like, "What?" Just like, I love it.
Did you see anything? No, I didn't see you playing with your dolls, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it was very cute. And when he was like
But-
dancing on the bed, like, "Ooh, this thing moves. This thing moves." He's so
Right.
cute, man.
I think
He's
this
It's
is
just
one
like
of my favorite.
high schooler being in love with his first love for like the very first time and
He's so
everything, and
naive,
just discovering.
though.
Yeah.
It's like a
Well,
child.
I feel like this is one of my favorite Sam episodes because especially like what happens like when he answers like that knock on the door and he starts
Yes.
hanging out with like those other
Rufus?
kids.
Yeah, Rufus, the alt-right psychic. Yeah,
Rufus.
the alt-right
Yeah,
psychic.
right.
Right.
But even then, it's like he's still hanging out with because he's never done this before. He's
Yeah,
never
well,
hung
he-
out with like people like
Never
the
had
same age as
fun.
him. And
He does say that when Emma finds him, because Emma goes to Jordan and she's like, "We've lost Sam. Like, we can get in. Is he going to be all right?" And Jordan's like, "We can get in so much trouble." Like, both different reasons for wanting to find Sam. And when they do find him, he's like, "Do you know, I had so much fun. I drank my first beer. I hung out with people who were all using their powers. It was so much fun." Like, he's never been with people who use their powers for good. He's been with people who've been like in a cell using their powers for bad. So it was good for him to experience that positive, like being around people like him in a positive way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, absolutely. Everything you just said is right. And in pairing that with his naivety of, hey, there's other superheroes. He's been tortured for being a superhero. Like, remember, the only thing he's done wrong is that he's a super powerful soup. That's it. Dude's never done anything, and he knows that. Even though he's damaged, he knows that he's just being tortured because he can kill pretty much anyone in any room whenever he wants to, and it's going to be adorable to him when he does it because they'll be puppets. So when he's learning, like he's getting accepted by this kind of awful group like Rufus, and then when he goes to that assembly, not to move you to the next scene, but it ties in when he goes to that assembly, and people are like, we are better than you guys. He's like, yeah, and you guys torture me all the time. Like, we are better. And it's so easy because his naivety pairing with the first time he's ever been accepted into a group and his kind of hatred. I don't know if he has a hatred towards humans, but he kind of has the right to be. All that can be manipulated in him being a radical soup that wants to take down humans. And they, can you really blame him? He's had an awful upbringing. And
he lived through it.
We're kind of going right back to that Homelander.
Well, not to
Well, that's
bring
what it
down
links in with where Rufus was like, Homelander was right. They can't control us, and it goes back to that Homelander is everything in all of it, really, isn't he? Because again, it goes back to the influence. He has influence over these kids, to whether or not they are going to do the right thing or the wrong thing. And when they are naive, like Sam, it's like, how do you win with that?
Well, not to bring down everything that you said, Taco, about like Sam, but this is a little bit how people get like. I've never been in a cult, obviously. Yeah, but that's
what
how
I was
people
getting at. This is how people get indoctrinated into kind of bad groups.
Yeah, it's finding people that are just like you, that have like the same views, and that you can, interact with.
These far political groups are exactly looking for people with like Sam, who can be powerful, can be used as a weapon, are naive, can get manipulated, and have a chip on their shoulder already. Right? He is exactly what any type of awful group wants, and yeah, he would be a really awful weapon. And let's just hope that by the end of the season, he goes goes the path of being a good guy, or at least as close as we can be as a good guy in this universe, opposed to going the other way, because he's so formidable and terrifying. And also, I love him, and you don't want to see him go down the dark side because he's so lovable and naive. And almost everyone here probably has a little bit of like a little brother like syndrome with him, because I do. Like he does seem like he's like my little brother. All right, little friend.
Can I just stop here and say? So you're saying that you feel sympathy towards Sam. You guys love Sam. You're so far on Sam's ass.
Until he crosses that line.
How is ripping a guy in half not fucking crossing a line, though? Come on.
It was a little different.
40
he was ripping.
There's only one guy compared to a million
Homelander
passengers.
is on the offensive, not the defensive. There's a little difference. If Sam didn't rip people in half, he would have been killed. Homelander cannot be killed. Do you see the difference here? One person's punching at least close to sideways, the other guy's punching down. There's a difference.
Sam is still young, and he can learn from his mistakes. And like this is like, it's kind of like the whole Anakin Skywalker thing, where it's like once he killed like all those children like in the Revenge of the Sith, it was kind of like it's he's on the dark side now, and it's like he can never go back.
That's why we don't want him to go down that path, because then he would be a Homelander. There is like almost a small chance to save him.
Children can be saved, adults can't.
Yeah,
but nobody was there to save Homelander, is my point, and that fucking
no, and you're completely right. I've already
Homelander
said that.
Be like that if he wasn't raised in a lab and someone had great fucking. I don't know. Anyway.
You're completely right. But until he starts killing.
Give me something today, Tucker. Fuck.
No, you're right on that. He's not a 100% to blame, but at the end of the day, he's the guy who turns on his lightning or his laser eyes. Like, at the end of the day, he's the guy who does it. He's, it's way more complex. You're right. He's not a mustache twirling black and white villain. You're right. Homelander definitely was corrupted and made evil, but he still does it. He still kills. And I think there's a small difference between him and Sam. All right.
Okay.
I'm currently looking up shirts for Homelander is right for me and you, so we can own them.
Oh, that's great.
That's what I'm literally doing right now.
Can you find one that says like Homelander, be my boyfriend, be my husband or something? All right, let's back on track. So Jordan finds Marie and they want to go and get her in to speak to Victoria Newman, who is obviously at that assembly that we were just talking about there. It's really cool to see Jordan just start this fight with that girl who, let's be honest, we all wanted revenge for Emma on that girl who was such a cow to her. She starts a fight so Marie can go in and talk to Victoria Newman. And I thought this interaction here was amazing. I loved their conversations and I loved the reveal that what Marie's powers, how extensive they could be because she hasn't fully explored them. So to know that it can be used as a weapon in order to find, compound V in people's blood, that's huge. That is really big with regard to her abilities and what she's able to do, but also the fact that Victoria Newman has the same powers. She can manipulate blood as well.
The reveal that that's what Newman's powers are, because I was always like, what, just so head explodey? That seems a little weird, but no, that's just that power taken to the extreme, and she hides everything else. And also now we know that Newman can do all that other stuff, so she can find compound V in people's blood. Like we not only learned about her, but we learned about Newman at the same time. Like,
I thought that was so good. What about you guys?
It was a cool reveal.
I thought it was really interesting at the fact that, like how she said, well, what? You thought you were the only one that had this power? And finally she has someone that she can relate to and talk to.
Literally like the exact same upbringing too. Like they're so similar.
So that's what I like about it is the fact that you're not alone anymore. I can help you with whatever abilities you need me to help you with. I like the fact that she can not only just explode heads now, we actually know that she has the same kind of power. She can detect, like Taco said, the V. I like this. I definitely like the fact now you have someone that she can relate to. She's not by herself, because that was one of the things that I was really concerned with. I'm like, I feel like she needs to be in a place where she can feel safe. And I think this is actually the person that can help her.
Marie has a motherly figure. Like, because that's like, especially like what happened in the first episode. Like we always wanted that for her, just because like you said perfectly, John, she's felt alone like in this world, and knowing that there's someone out there like her, it's that's supporting her. I think is really great.
Which goes back to everything that I've echoed throughout this whole freaking panel that we've done, is that if they're nurtured and cared for, they can be normal Supes rather than these psychopathic killing Supes.
To tie in what you just said there, it's also kind of, I hate to go back to Homelander, but it goes back to like how Homelander was raised, like based on like how Gen Xers were raised and how the parent Z like raised like their children, kind of like just seeing like all the mistakes that their parents made and how they're going to raise like their parents, raise like their kids. And I think that's really great, a really great tie-in.
Piggybacking off what you said with, that Marie finally has somebody that she can relate to and like a motherly figure. I feel like that linked in, but opposite with Kate, because, Dean Shetty comes in at the end there and they have that confrontation. And she's like, and she's like, I want to protect you. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to kill everybody else, but I'm not going to kill you. And we have that thing where she's like, you're never going to be alone again. And let's be honest, every one of these Supes have felt alone. That's
kind of what this whole show's about.
Really, isn't it? So to have that moment there, and she's like clearly listening to her thoughts, and she's like, I trust you. Again, we find out a bit after that that's not true, but to have that moment of, that could have been somebody that raised her and nurtured her to use her powers for good, and instead look what we got. So it's the opposite of Marie and Newman's relationship.
I don't trust Newman as far as I can throw her, but I don't think of her as being a good mother figure.
Well, she's a politician as well, so
it goes to show you it's two different. Right. Sorry.
She is a mum already, so she does have that motherly figure, that maternal love in her. And I don't think she's got bad intentions for Marie. I think she genuinely wants her to have what she missed out on. In my opinion.
I'm not going to say you're wrong. I just don't trust Newman.
I'm trying to find the good in things, Taco, and you're taking it.
You're talking about a politician who could blow up heads. I mean, you might want to fish in an easier pond when it comes to trying to find somebody who's good. But I got a positive thing to say about just what we learned about Newman. If we can go, and then we can go right back to Kate and Shetty. But this is how you do a cameo. We were talking about, we don't want to see like oh, they're gonna flip and show A-Train running, and that's our whole cameo.
Right.
We learned something new about Newman. Like we got 2 scenes with her. This is
Right.
It literally builds on the boys, builds on her, is a reveal for her,
Right.
and greatly infected this season. Just with 2 scenes. That's how you do a cameo, ladies.
Exactly.
It's
It's not a cameo just for the sake of right. It's
oh, hey, let's Newman. Yeah, that's not.
Exactly. It's not a cameo just to have the
But-
sake of having a cameo. It's there to push the plot and to motivate the plot and to be able to give us a little bit more meat for us to be able to follow up with the boys and also to have that character dynamic. But I do like the fact that you have these 2 motherly figures teaching these girls, and one is in the right way and one is in the wrong direction, kind of thing. And at first I was like really afraid of Newman, especially everything that happened with in the boys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this
She's
kind of
She's a head exploding politician. I don't know what
Right.
like that's terrifying.
But-
You know, like-
it kind of humanizes her in a sense now. It kind of basically humanizes her to the fact that she has a motherly instinct to where it's like a little bit of peek behind the curtain kind of thing of how she thinks and then how she feels about somebody versus it being on that whole entire one direction of what we've seen her and the boys.
Don't forget who's Newman's parent figure was the dude who I can't remember the guy's name. It's been a while since I watched The Boys, but the guy who's in charge of Vought, you know,
Yep.
yeah, and he, I don't think would have been a good father figure, right? Like he definitely
True.
treated Supes like weapons and tools, and she was raised by him, so it really like, you know, the sins of their father. Like, where is Newman gonna go if that was how she was raised? So
She's the one that turned on him in the end, so
Yep,
it makes
yep.
you wonder what's going to happen. You know,
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
pumped.
foreshadowing what's going to happen or whatever?
So-
Anyway,
I have a question to bring us back to Kate and Shetty. Who thought in the back of their mind or in the front of their mind, right when they all walked in and Kate had Shetty, like, I have her. Did you guys think like Kate's still
This
on
is
her
a stage.
side? This
Yeah,
is a
stage.
setup.
yeah,
Like
100%.
I thought immediately right away. I'm like, I don't know who to trust. All right,
Same.
everyone
Yeah.
was thinking that. Okay.
Yeah, my anxiety was through the roof. I was like, so is she playing, you know, her friends or what? Like, is this an act? And especially when she turned around and she said a line like, you fucking bitch, or like something
Yeah.
like, it just felt so forced. And I was like, what is going on here? But then obviously we get that. And
Right.
she doesn't let Marie revive her when she knows that that's what, that is exactly what would happen. That was, whoa, dark. Very
Yeah.
dark. My favorite part of all of it, I think, was when Marie turns around to Kate and she says, do you know what you've done? And Sam's response is justice.
Yeah.
And they are finally on the same page. And you got to remember, he saw her as an enemy last week. He was going to rip her to shreds.
Yeah.
But he
Rip
now
her to cut in
sees-
pieces.
yeah.
Felt.
with his puppet
Felt.
hair, with his puppeteer hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's now on the same page as her because he sees that what she did to him was on behalf of somebody else. You know, somebody else was making her do that. And they're finally on the same page. And I
Well,
thought that was really beautiful.
And not only somebody else, but the same person who's been in charge of his torture has been manipulating her. And not, I mean, it's so complex because he realizes, oh, I was being messed up. My brother was being messed up by Kate for Shetty. Like, you know, like, so it's just all these webs. And this goes back to what I said earlier, is I think that this was just this grand gesture from Kate to prove that she can be trusted. Like, oh, you guys don't trust me? I'm going to slit Shetty's throat. You guys, now do you trust me? Like, oh my,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
like you said, Tycho, she has to do something dark and twisted for
Yeah.
her
It's like,
her
you know,
to
when
be able to. Yeah.
You got to prove that you're cool around your friends, so you do one too many shots, you know. But you know, take it to the nth degree.
And what we touched on before a little bit too, like she could read their minds. So as soon as they walked in, she would know that they would be thinking what we were. Oh, what's going on here? You know, like she can hear them. So she would know that and probably be like, stop this. I need to prove a point. And she
So-
proved the point.
So maybe she read Sam's mind when she's like, "What should I do?" And Sam's like, "Kill her, kill her." Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She's a puppet. Kill her.
Justice,
Kill her.
justice,
Let her
no.
Okay, I was just gonna beat her up, but I'm getting
Okay, if you want me to do that, I'll do it. No problem.
I want to see your insides.
Well,
Oh my god!
now you're quoting screen.
Wow.
Let's see what your insides look like.
Now I'm getting a little bit ooh.
I got 9 Inch Nails
mm.
vibes now.
Oh, I was going somewhere else, but okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with the bad stuff. Anyway, another line too, which I loved from Dean Shetty, is that you aren't here to study. The school is here to study you. Yeah, you aren't human. No, you're test subjects. You're not human. And then Sam's response was, "We're better than humans," which is exactly what was echoed from that audience. Yeah. And also echoed, sorry to jump back to my favorite guy here, but also echoed from Homelander when he gave that presentation and he was like, I'm better than you. I'm a god.
Why do I have to live up to your guys' standards? You guys are nothing to me.
You guys suck. So yeah, I thought that was really great. That beautiful moment there too.
Also, to go back to our first trailer reaction, we all kind of called like, yeah, I'm sorry, but one of us called. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty sure one of us called that like this is going to be treated like Hogwarts at the beginning, but we all already know it isn't. These guys are. This is just a big lab. It's just, let's let these superhero college kids do whatever they want until we need to rip one of their brains apart to see how it ticks. We knew from the beginning, at least, we all kind of assumed because we watched The Boys, that they're just test subjects. So now so we, of course, know that because we have something that the characters don't have. We watched the first 3 seasons of The Boys, and the characters haven't. So they're finally up to speed with us. Oh wait, we're all test subjects. Like, dude, I knew that a long time ago, but thanks for showing up, guys.
The final scene of the episode with Victoria Newman taking the vial from Dr. Cardosa, and straight away, as soon as she said the line of so you're the only one that can replicate this, you knew that poor guy
I was like, goodbye your head. Yeah.
It was nice knowing you, Dr. Cardosa. And I love that you say off with your head, because in that episode she actually said that, when they were she was talking to Marie at the assembly, and she's like, "Oh, I better watch what I say because they'll be off with my head," which was a funny. And then at the very end of this episode, the song starts when she does actually pop his head. The song is.
It was the Yeah Yeahs.
Yeah,
one of my favorite bands. This isn't my favorite album by them. Their first 2 albums I have in my car right now. Show Me Your Bones Show Your Bones is the best album up by them. But anyways. Yeah, Heads Are Roll, I believe is the name of the song.
Heads Are Rolling, that was it.
Up with your head. Yeah. Karen O is a goddess. I love that band. Love the Yeah Yeahs. But yeah, Heads Are Roll.
I think this is. I was saying I was saying in the
Perfect.
pre-show, this is one of my favorite needle drops in the season so far, and probably throughout the pretty much all of the
another
boys.
one this episode that was really good too, but the ending it with Yeah Yeahs, I was like, oh, you guys are just flexing now.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
you guys are just okay. You got a good sound guy. Okay, cool.
What a messed up way for that. I know that we've already discussed that
we talked about this pre-show. Sorry, Molly, continue.
We talked about how the doctor has done horrible things, but just like what a messed up way to go. Like he looks at the business card and he sees like blood fall on it, and he's just like, wait a minute, and then boom.
Okay, Newman she's a politician. She has business cards. She has them on her. She could give him one and walk back and grab it. Leaving it blank is just being a jerk. It's just so he knows he's about to explode. Hey, what is it saying? Your head's about to explode written on a pencil here.
To be fair,
her calling
a
card.
lower cover. Yeah. Like whoever finds that poor dead body,
her calling card
what's
job.
her card doing here? She must have popped his head.
I don't know. Like if my head exploded and a random politician's card was in my hand, they still wouldn't think it was. They're like, how did this? Oh my god, this idiot have a card from a politician in his hand? He probably drew it up himself. Like, no, never. But I'm not as cool as the doctor.
Not trying to defend him even more, but this is like it's like when you're working on something. When you're working on something, you are blind by the outside of like
This
what.
is why
Somebody
I'm
on the
actually
show
the
is
slacker
defending
who doesn't take
Homelander,
credit
so
for
you
it.
kind of don't look as bad now, Marley.
I was just about to say, I get a full-on rant from Taco about you can't defend Homelander, you bitch.
I do find it funny that you're like, guys, I'm sorry, but I kind of don't think the Doctor's like all the way bad. And Jamie Lee's like, Doctor, you gotta pump that up, dude. I'm all the way up to Homelander.
Yeah.
You're defending the Doctor? All right, come on, defend somebody a little more up there. Defend your S tier genociders. Come on.
I just don't see the difference. Like the difference between Homelander and the difference between this guy. Like they're both doing bad things, but Homelander had an excuse. What's this guy got an excuse for experimenting on poor human beings?
I hate him equally, so I'm not defending this dude at all.
I'm not saying he's good, but I'm just saying like you can't.
He has the love of science.
The poor thing died because his love for work. Like what?
Right.
Sorry,
He loves genocides. So,
my ranting, my aggressiveness is rubbing off from this side. I'm sorry. Keep going, Marley, about defending your doctor.
Yeah, it makes her look better.
No, that's all I said. It's just like it's just like when you're working on a project, you have pretty much blinders on. You're focused. He's like 100% focused on it, and like I understood, like he does. He did. Yeah.
The Doctor in itself, though, I think that we already knew he was going to be gone because there was no reason for her to even keep him anymore.
I forgot he was still alive. I thought Sam ripped his doll head off like 3 episodes ago. I forgot this guy was still kicking.
Right, because I remember when she was trying to make the genocide stuff for her.
Yeah.
And
he's been on borrowed time since he pissed Sam off, anyways.
There's no reason to have him. So therefore, also La Vista, baby. I'm done.
That'll link in with the boys because obviously now Victoria Newman has this power that we can now take across to, the core boys group that we know and the 7 and things like that. So that ties in with that. And then next week we'll have this epic showdown of Supes versus Supes, really. The ones who are against humans and the ones who want us all to be the same. So I think that showdown's going to be really cool. What about you guys? What do you think?
I'm ready to end this season. Like I'm pumped. I want to see how it goes. I think this was a great ride, and I can't believe it's only been 1 season with these characters because I really enjoy them. So I'm not going to speculate because I don't really like to speculate. I want to be surprised. I don't do that. You do that, and that's that's why that's why we're actually complimentary. If we both did the same thing, why do you need both of us, right? So, but yeah, I'm just absolutely pumped, and I can't wait. But
yeah. What about you, John?
I'm actually excited for this season finale, and then I'm still thinking that the school's going to blow up at the very end of it, and then they're going to be on their very way.
You've held very strong with that, haven't you? You've really.
Yeah, you keep thinking the school's going to blow up. You stuck that into everything. Like, hey, I really like the scene where they bang with the puppets. I hope the school blows up. Like, yeah,
the school's going to blow.
They're going to blow up the school. They're going to blow up the school, and then they're going to rebuild a high rise on top of it. Just gentrification.
Oh my God, you had to bring it back, didn't you? And then
go back to last episode.
I really am. I'm loving these characters. I'm loving Cricket. Cricket is actually one of my favorite characters on the show.
I love that.
They're relatable. There's always something new to talk about with these characters. So much depth, so much layers to them that I really enjoy watching every single week. So I'm definitely interested to see where this thing goes.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Molly?
Yeah, I've been loving like this season so far, and I'm really excited to see. Like, I don't make a lot of predictions either. I just like to watch it like as it is.
Me and Marley are cool.
Like
the cool ones.
Like,
sorry,
but
guys.
this is.
I think we've established how weird I am at the start of this. So sorry. Yeah.
This is truly like how you write television. Like like from episode 1 to like now, and how they slowly just like reveal like information and keep the audience like engaged. Like there wasn't a lot of stuff for us to talk about in the first episode, but the episode like we just discussed now, like there was so much depth like hidden in there, and the way they peeled back
fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it just started. I feel like if this was a semester of school where like week 1, like it just went boom, 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 boom. Plus they never go to class. These students suck.
Yeah. Well, who goes to class?
Yeah, when you're a test subject, why would you bother going to class?
Yeah, once you find that out.
We're Supes.
Alrighty, that's our thoughts on episode 7, Sick of Gen V. Wow, tongue twister there. We are very excited for thumbs up again, guys. We can do this like we did in the
Hit that
group.
thumbs up button. Hit
Yeah,
that
hit
thumbs up.
that thumbs up button. Like
Hit that
and
like button.
subscribe.
Make
Wait,
sure
did
like
you
and
hear about that
subscribe.
feature? Did you hear about that feature on YouTube where if you say hit that subscribe button or hit that thumbs up button,
Pops up.
it will animate?
Oh, that would be pretty cool. Hit that
So hit the
subscribe
comments
button,
down
hit that
below.
Subscribe
Hit
button.
that subscribe button.
Comment. Subscribe to Let's
Everybody,
Talk About. I'm sorry.
Take a turn saying hit the subscribe button.
For real, I just want everybody to know, if this is your first time finding Jamie Lee and her amazing channel, please click like and subscribe. She does do all kinds of different things. Right now she is doing the Gen V stuff, but she does follow the Daryl Dixon show, or just did it. She does great stuff. So, and also she does have a gaming channel, so please go find it over there. And yeah. You gotta do. You gotta sell it more, man. I'm here for you.
Yeah, I'll pay you later. Thank you. All right, thank you, my friends.
We'll work it
Make
out.
sure you subscribe to Make sure you subscribe to all my lovely friends here. Their links will be in the description. And yeah, we'll catch you next week on the finale of Gen V. Okay, bye.
Bye.